Every city is shaped less by its buildings than by the rules beneath them. Zoning codes decide what can rise and where. Property law determines who controls land. Infrastructure standards dictate how people move, connect, and survive. The skyline is only the visible result. Digital systems work the same way. What data exists, who can access it, how it flows, and who benefits are not technical accidents. They are governed. And like urban regulations, these invisible frameworks quietly structure everyday life. In the 19th century, industrial cities collapsed under overcrowding, pollution, and disease. The response wasn't just better buildings, it was regulation. Building codes, public health laws, zoning, rules reshaped urban form. They limited factory smoke near housing, mandated sanitation systems, separated dangerous uses from daily life. Without governance, urban growth produced chaos. With it, cities became safer, but also unequal. Redlining policies in the United States, for example, legally restricted where certain communities could live. The built environment didn't just reflect prejudice, it enforced it. Digital systems now face a similar moment. Data governance is not just about privacy policies. It defines what data is collected, how long it's stored, who can access it, how it can be sold, shared, or automated. These decisions shape entire digital landscapes. For example, when platforms optimize for engagement, they collect behavioral data continuously. When governments allow biometric databases, faces become infrastructure. When regulation is weak, data becomes a resource to extract, like land during early industrialization. Rules don't sit on top of technology, they structure it. Consider surveillance. Cities once installed street lighting to improve safety. Later came CCTV cameras. Digital systems now extend this logic everywhere. Smartphones track location. Apps log behavior. Algorithms predict movement, spending, even risk. In some cities, predictive policing software directs patrols based on historical data. But those datasets often reflect decades of biased enforcement. The result? More surveillance in already over-policed neighborhoods. Just as highways once cut through poorer districts, digital monitoring now concentrates in specific communities. Governance determines whether data reinforces inequality or corrects it. Urban zoning decides where housing can be built, where industry operates, who lives near opportunity. Digital governance creates similar boundaries. Credit algorithms decide who qualifies for loans. Hiring systems filter applicants. Healthcare models prioritize resources. When these systems rely on biased or incomplete data, they quietly exclude. Studies have shown facial recognition systems misidentify darker-skinned faces at far higher rates. Not because of malice, because of training data. Governance determines whether these systems are tested, audited, and corrected. Without oversight, digital environments develop invisible segregation. Cities depend on trust. People trust bridges won't collapse, that water is safe to drink, that buildings meet standards. This trust is built through regulation, inspection, and accountability. Digital systems now require the same. When data breaches expose millions of users, trust erodes. When algorithms make opaque decisions, people lose confidence. Ethical frameworks, transparency laws, data protection regulations, audit requirements function like building inspections. They don't stop innovation. They make systems habitable. The European Union's GDPR, for example, forces companies to limit data collection and allow users to access and delete their information. It reshaped how platforms design products, just as fire codes reshaped architecture. But governance is never neutral. Urban laws once favored landowners over tenants. Highway funding prioritized suburbs over inner cities. Digital regulation also reflects power. Large technology firms can afford compliance systems. Smaller competitors often struggle. Some countries use data laws to protect citizens. Others use them to expand state surveillance. The question isn't whether rules exist, it's who they serve. Cities without governance become unsafe, polluted, and exploitative. Cities with poorly designed governance become segregated and unjust. Digital systems follow the same pattern. No rules produce extraction and surveillance capitalism. Bad rules entrench inequality. Thoughtful governance creates environments that are functional, fair, and trusted. Just as architects must understand zoning and building codes, digital designers and policymakers must understand ethical frameworks. Because structure always precedes outcome. We often think of digital systems as abstract, but they are environments people inhabit daily. They guide movement, allocate opportunity, shape behavior. Data governance is the urban planning of the digital world. Ethics is not decoration. It is infrastructure. The rules we design today will quietly shape digital life for decades, just as 20th century planning decisions still shape our cities. The question is not whether digital systems will be governed. They already are. The real question is, will we design these rules intentionally or let them emerge through unchecked power and convenience? Because in both cities and data systems, what looks like technology is usually structure.